comparison to Miles Morales is probably the highest compliment I've ever received on social media, so thanks for that. Now, I would at this point love to tell you a story about getting struck by lightning, but I don't have one. As far as I know, that's never happened. I do, however, have a lightning story, and I'll go ahead and share that. So my brother, who is terrified of storms, and this is important to remember, terrified of storms, the moment that there was any indication of a thunderstorm that happened growing up, he was immediately in the basement with saltines and water and a radio and just ready to ride the whole thing out and never come back above ground level the entire time. This is the person that we're talking about, and it's important that you understand that. He decided to attend Liberty University, and if you're not familiar with it, it's the moderately strict Christian college founded by Jerry Falwell down in Virginia. I think it was being run by Jerry Falwell Jr. at the time, but I don't actually remember exactly. But he was going there, and I was sent to go pick him up. I was going to drive down to Virginia, spend a couple, I think 2 or 3 days there at his dorm, and then bring him home for Thanksgiving break. Now, when I say moderately strict, I mean they had a lot of rules, and I really didn't fit in there. And in fact, I expressed some concerns about the place. I wasn't terrible. I mean, I wasn't particularly serious about my faith at the time, and I was smoking weed, and I was smoking cigarettes, and I was drinking kind of a lot, and I was doing a lot of things that Liberty University didn't really like, and so there was some concern about how well I was going to fit in when I arrived and stayed there for a couple of days. Now, of course, it's November, and it was raining most of the drive down, and so I was dressed accordingly. I was wearing an outfit that fit the weather and the time of year. So I'm driving down, and near as I could tell, it was raining the whole way. I didn't know this at the time, but apparently I was riding along near the front of a storm that was moving roughly the same direction. All I knew is that it started raining in southern PA, and it was raining the whole way through Maryland and Virginia, the whole way through to Lynchburg, where Liberty is. So I'm driving along, and I know to go to this one parking lot that is in front of his dorm, and he's going to meet me outside. That was the plan. That was what we were told. We didn't have cell phones yet, really, and so I didn't have a way to kind of communicate to him how close we were or anything. I just kind of had to give him an estimate of when we'd be there hours earlier and hope it was fairly accurate. So he's standing outside on what is, at the time, a fairly sunny day, waiting for me to show up. Now, I know this next part is true because, as I mentioned, his fear of storms, and he was outside at the time when I arrived, which means that he hadn't had time to get inside. So that's why I mentioned his fear of storms, is because that lends credibility to me to his explanation of what happened. And his explanation of what happened is that he was standing there outside his dorm, looking up this little hill to where the parking lot was, and he's waiting for us to show up, because I was bringing my other brother with me. He's waiting for us to show up, and he's watching up this hill, and suddenly, as he describes it, the sky turns black out of nowhere, and a massive rainstorm starts dropping on him. Just a ton of rain out of nowhere. He freaks out. He goes to go inside, but before he can take a step inside, a bolt of lightning hits and illuminates the sky above the hill, and what it illuminates is a silhouette. You know, this silhouette. And he stopped, and he looked, and he went, "My God, Tim has come to Liberty."